The content of this podcast is provided for general informational purposes only and is not intended as, nor should it be considered a substitute for professional medical advice.
Sweaty and pissed. Menopause makes me sweaty and pissed.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sweaty and Pissed, Menopause and More. I'm Leanne Morgan, comedian, and this is my darling partner, Karen Nickel, brilliant nurse practitioner, guru, hormone guru, who's beautiful in royal blue tonight. If y'all could see her.
Oh, yeah.
She's a beauty.
Mm-hmm. So much so. It's great to be with you again.
Well, we were before we got on here, we were talking about plastic surgery, and my neck looks so bad. We're zooming each other so we can see each other to talk. And my neck is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And I said, could I survive a neck lift? And you said, yes, of course you can. But you said there's a man in Chattanooga, and tell people what he does. Maybe they can find this in their town.
He has what he recommends. Actually, he requires, I believe, that for the 24 hours following the surgery, that you are placing ice on your face and the areas that were incised every 10 minutes for 24 hours. And so if you feel like you can't do that on your own, he provides a list of names of nurses who will do that for you, and you rent a hotel room and a nurse stays with you and slaps ice on your face every 10 minutes for 24 hours. And these people don't have any bruising or swelling. So I think that's part of the reason they have such good outcomes, because there's little inflammation. So the scarring is minimal.
Yeah, that sounds like a wonderful idea. But when I think of somebody putting ice on my face every 10 minutes, that'd be a booger, that'd be hard to deal with. But I guess if that's what happened, and you look so much better, and we didn't have to go through all that, you could be aura on the front end. It's kind of like having a colonoscopy. You drink that stuff, and then it's the good part. You take a nap. So maybe that's what that is.
Well, and also for someone like you who's going to be out on the stage, you don't want a lot of downtime because you look like you were in a boxing match,
Right.
So it saves you.
Even though, did you hear Mike Tyson fought, and at 50-something years old the other night?
What?
And I think it was a tie. I don't think they called it for him, but I've heard that he won it. Little Mike Tyson in his 50s, Bad Mama Jamma, fought.
Wow.
I think it was about a week ago.
I think when you're that tough, you're always that tough.
Oh, yeah.
He's a tough guy.
You know? I love him. I think that little thing, I've heard more people talk about him lately. He's making a comeback in a lot of ways. But like Dolly, people that are listening, and thank y'all so much for supporting us and listening to us. We're coming from East Tennessee, home of Dolly Parton, who is on fire and doing, everybody's always loved her, but she is killing it. And everybody has finally figured out how darling she is. And all the Hollywood people want to come to Dollywood if it weren't for the COVID. And people are fascinated by people in the South. And she's just such a wise, kind, tell it like it is, but sweet. And I don't know why I'm getting off on that tangent, but if you notice that, Dolly's everywhere.
Yeah. She's really gotten big. Well, and there's that great documentary about her, and and she just donated $1 million to Vanderbilt COVID studies, and so she's all over the place. And her persona is it gives you such a sense of accessibility. She's like, oh gosh, I could just walk up and talk to her.
Uh-huh. And Maggie met her.
I bet.
My middle child worked for Make-A-Wish, and there was a little girl that had a wish to meet Dolly Parton, and Maggie escorted this little girl and her family. And Maggie stayed to the side and said, I'll just stay off here in a curtain. I don't have to, maybe, how Maggie is gracious. And Dolly said, who is this? Who is that back there? And she said, Maggie. And she said, come here, girl, and let's get a picture made. And I was just looking in Maggie's bedroom. She doesn't live with us anymore. She's in an apartment, but there's that picture, and I need to put it in a frame. She just brought it home. But that's been that's probably been over a year ago, but she said she was darling, and she said her feet and waist and everything was tiny.
Well, did you watch the Macy's Day Parade at all?
No.
Because it was all, pre-recorded, and, the parade was a block long because it truly was. It was a block long. Anyway, she sang from her studio from one of the stages at Dollywood, and she wore this fabulous dress that looked perfect with the scenery, and her waist is as big as your wrist, I swear.
Mm-hmm. Maybe said it was.
So tiny. She's tiny.
Childlike.
Tiny.
Mm-hmm. And I've got to say, I met Reese Witherspoon and Reese has been so gracious to share our podcast with people. Mm-hmm. But Reese Witherspoon, I met her at a thing in Nashville, and she's tiny. Like that, childlike, tiny. And that's people like that look pretty on film.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Locally, if I'm on film at WBR, my head looks 4 times as big as our weatherman, Todd Howell, who I worship. And I just think, we've got little Beth Haynes, our local, and I love her, I've known her for years, but one of our local news people. And I look like I birthed her. Tiny, because people tiny look good on camera. They need to put little tiny, like little Tom Cruise. I understand why they do it.
It's true. Robert Redford, tiny.
Is Robert Redford tiny?
Yeah, he's like short.
Oh, I've always loved him.
Oh, yeah. He's great, but he's small.
He's small. I like small men. I like all men, but I've always been attracted to the little man, but I married big white men. Big white man with big backs that can keep a door in, and fix a toilet. Now, not fix a toilet great, rig it, to make it through, but not exactly fix it. I should go back and say that. But anyway, Chuckina knows how to rig a toilet, but kick in a door. Okay, I've got to tell all of our audience that because I've talked about my kids, and we've talked about Forrest. Karen, our producer, is Karen's baby. He's a grown man. We act like he's a baby, but he's very competent. I just think of him as the little child because of it's her baby. But anyway, baby my children too long. Okay, my grandbaby will be here by the time this podcast airs. My grandbaby will be in this world.
Boy.
And I'm on fire. A boy who is going to be my best friend, and I'm going to let him do whatever he wants. I'm going to let him do whatever he wants, and we're going to be fun. We're going to have so much fun, and I'm going to take him to the zoo, and we're going to garden together, and I just cannot wait.
Cannot wait.
So my daughter-in-law is ready to roll, so Karen will be able to share that news with people. And I've got to say, I guess we need to go in and say it, don't we? Mm-hmm. Y'all, I've loved doing this podcast. And when I went years ago, this is 83 episodes. And when Karen's doctored me for years and saved me from, well, I don't know what I was just felt so sick, and she just healed me. And then I said to her, as my comedy, Lord, I've been doing comedy for 20 years, but I said, all these comedians are doing podcasts, and my manager and my team think I need to do one. And I go, I've never thought of what I'd talk about, but what about me and you? And let's do a podcast and talk about menopause, because nobody talks about it. A lot of people don't talk about it. Mm-hmm. They don't prepare you for it. They don't prepare you for perimenopause, which is a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to her that day. I guess I was seeing you for a hormone checkup or thyroid or something. And you said, okay. And you said, my son, I think, knows how to do that. And so thank the Lord, that all worked out beautifully. and Forrest produced it for us. And so this is 80 something episodes, and I've had a ball. But y'all have followed us through this time, that you know that I've got my little elderly mom and daddy, that my mom's sick and it had a stroke a couple of years ago. And so I help them out a lot. And my son's about to have, or will have his first baby, and I work full time. And so I just had to take some things off my plate. And so I'm not going to be doing, we're not going to be doing Sweaty and Pissed. Karen is going to continue on so that and decide what she's going to do so that she can still give y'all wonderful information. And because everybody needs that and everybody wants to hear what Karen is saying, I'm going to, this is going to be my last episode, but who knows? I may need to pop in a couple of times. I don't know, but Karen will continue on, and until she decides what direction she wants to go in, because she needs to keep doing this and giving people information. Did I say that in an okay way?
You said that brilliantly.
Oh, thank you.
Brilliantly. Sad, but brilliantly.
Thank you. Well, I'm saying, and it's hard for me to change, and it's hard
I know.
to pick something up.
Yeah.
And this has been fun, and we have done it we've done it in the middle of the COVID. We've done it Zoom. We've done it together at the University of Tennessee. We've done it at studios. We found anywhere we could find a spot. We did it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And we'll probably, because we're coming on to the holiday season, we probably won't do many episodes, probably one a month for the next 3 months. Like 3 months. And then we'll let you know about any future podcasts that might be spinning off from Sweaty and Pissed.
Yes. And, the wonderful thing about podcasts is that they don't go away.
Yeah.
Tell your friends. Please tell your friends that are, going through perimenopause or any medical questions. Karen has talked about men, about their problems, about all kinds of medical, having a hysterectomy. What do you do when you have to have a hysterectomy and you're young or whatever? There's been a million things that she's talked about that are so informational. So these podcasts will be
there for you to listen to.
And so please share with your friends. And
you can listen to them again, because I know I get a lot of questions about things that we've talked about. And so it never hurts to re-listen to things, because I know from working with patients that you have to say things over and over and over before sometimes they stick. So it's always good to re-listen to them.
Yeah, she's had to talk about estrogen dominance
like forever.
Everybody's thinking about estrogen, and she's done it. And every episode that you've talked about it, you've touched on something different about estrogen and about estrogen dominance.
So interesting that you should bring up estrogen dominance, because I wanted to read a couple comments that our listeners made about the estrogen dominance episode we just released recently. One person, Jessica, says the hand cream and body moisturizer I use has mineral oil. Recommendations for body lotion and hand cream for really dry skin. Of course, if you are looking for a really good emollient, I would just, whenever you're purchasing something, just always look at the ingredients for mineral oil or petrolatum or petroleum. But I know that CeraVe and Cetaphil both have good products that don't have mineral oil in it. You probably need something that is an emollient that's very, thicker than a lotion. But those two companies make very good mineral-free products. So you might want to check that. And you can get those at your regular pharmacy or grocery store. Yeah, they're easy to find. So you don't have to buy anything super expensive. Just need to double check it for mineral oil. Looking at something like Burt's Bees, they probably have a good emollient if you have really dry skin. But those are a couple things I would suggest. Is there something you use that's mineral free?
You know that I've got a child that's done videos with us or podcasts with us, Tess, my baby, and who's a makeup artist, and I have learned many a thing from her. And she says to people, if you go to Ulta or Sephora, one of those places, they have the green emblem for, products that have clean ingredients in them. So they have a whole section where it doesn't have all that stuff in it. And they have all different prices, and especially Ulta will have prices like your drugstore all the way up to fancy. And so I think Ulta is a good option. And I just saw where Sephora is going to go into Kohl's all over the United States, and Ulta is going in with Target.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
So that'll be there. The beauty industry is changing so much with all that. Anyway, Target has so many clean ingredients now, and just rows and rows of clean. I think more and more people want that.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to say one other thing that that Jessica can think about is just using coconut oil. And then, there's only one ingredient in that coconut oil. I mean, if you need something, especially for like your knees and elbows and, the super dry spots, you can just use coconut oil.
Yes. And you've told people they can use it vaginally and they can use it on their hair.
That's right. That's exactly right. So there was Elizabeth on this about the same podcast, the Estrogen Dominance podcast. Elizabeth is not so much a question as a comment. She said, "Thank you both so much. I'm at 42. I have been complaining to my doctor about these issues for a couple of years. We're talking check, check, check all the way down the list, and she has refused to do blood work to evaluate. She says before menopause, they don't bother with evaluating options. Thank you for the affirmation I needed. I will be finding a new PCP immediately who is willing to explore what is going on." Yeah, perimenopausal women get the short shrift, Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then Danielle asks, which is the patch brand you recommend? And that is Patch MD, M as in Mary, D as in dog.com.
Okay, we do love Patch MD, and we don't get paid for Patch MD, but I love them. I use the B12, the multivitamin, the menopause at night, menopause day, and sometimes I'll even put on a melatonin sleep starter at night, melatonin, just to make me feel better about myself emotionally. Yeah. So I love them.
They're good. And for something like iron replacement, if you need iron, do not use an iron supplement if you don't know that you need iron. But for people who need iron replacement and just cannot tolerate oral iron because it causes so much GI problem, they have an iron patch, which I think is really helpful. That's been really useful to a lot of my patients.
I'm telling you.
PatchMD.com. Yeah.
Okay. You know what is so wonderful about Green Chef?
What?
I like to cook, and I've cooked all my life, and I've watched my mama cook.
Mm-hmm.
My sister hates it. And as we take care of my little mom and daddy, we have a caregiver that comes 3 days a week. And this little girl is 24 and she's darling, but she doesn't cook. And they really need help with meals. And I said to her, I'm going to order you these Green Chef meals to come twice a week, just twice a week at first. So, and I said, they take less than 30 minutes. If you can read, you can cook. They've got everything for you. They've got the directions. They've got everything in little packets that are ready to roll. It's fresh. They've got wonderful organic ingredients in them. You can get vegan, vegetarian, paleo, keto.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved I got the balanced meals for my family.
Yeah, I think, they got family meals. Yeah.
Wonderful. I had feta burgers to die for. Very flavorful. Everything has got a lot of flavor. It's funny. You cook something with fresh ingredients instead of something packaged, and it is a game changer. You feel like you're a chef.
You are.
But I thought if she could just cook those meals, they are so easy. Even if people out here do not want to cook, I'm telling you, you can do it, and takes no time, and it is fabulous.
It is. And Green Chef is a USDA certified organic company. And as you said, it comes in vegan, vegetarian, paleo, and keto plans. And, there are tons of people who are doing a keto diet right now. So it makes it simple for you. I did the vegan this last week, and you can change up your plan. That's another thing. I did the vegan last week, and they're delicious recipes. Delicious. I'm so fresh, high quality, clean ingredients. You can really
comes to your front door. Comes to your front door.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I've used other food services like this in the past, and there are 3 meals. All the ingredients are thrown into a box, and you have to sort out what goes with what recipe. These come in separate. Every meal is in a separate bag. Everything's recyclable, which I love.
I love
that. And
it's just so easy.
It'd
be crazy not to do it. And I've said to my sister, I go, I'm telling you, you need to do this because it's all healthier. There's organic ingredients. It's all laid out there for you. It's in individual packets. I am sold. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, so our listeners need to go to greenchef.com and use code SWEATY90 to get $90 off, including free shipping. Go to greenchef.com and use code SWEATY90 to get $90 off, including free shipping.
I know. Y'all got to try it. It really is a game changer. And it's things that you would never think to cook for yourself. You feel like you think, who am I, Wolfgang Puck?
So listeners, please go to greenchef.com and use code SWEATY90 to get $90 off, including free shipping.
It's an offer you can't turn down, right?
I know. It's wonderful. It really is. And you can decide how many times a week you'd want to get it. I'm telling you, I loved it. Loved it. I know. I want to try the vegetarian, and I need to get back on paleo so that I can fit my britches during the COVID.
That's awesome.
Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well.
Have you ever taken blood work after somebody's been wearing a patch to see if because there's a vitamin D one? What do you think about it?
It works.
It works. Oh, and see, people don't have to take all those darn pills. To me, I love them. And I bought them for my daughters. They've got PMS. They've got biotin, anti-aging, antiviral.
Well, and the only person I've had who the numbers didn't change a lot, she was using a lot of lotion on the places where she put the patch. And so sometimes you just need to take maybe a little alcohol wipe and get the skin really clean so that it can absorb it well. So that's a key thing. You have to have really good skin contact. So, I have Lisa saying, after listening to this podcast, again, the Estrogen Dominance podcast, I'm wondering if mineral makeup I've been using for years is now what I should be avoiding. Can you confirm that I am understanding this correctly? And Lisa, you are understanding that correctly. That's an easy one to answer. Yeah. So obviously with makeup, you're not covering as much territory, as much area on your skin as when you're putting a lotion on your entire body. But the skin is a very absorptive organ, and anything you put on it, you are going to absorb, and you are absorbing those mineral oils. So there are plenty of foundations, and I think Tess talked about quite a few of them that do not contain mineral oil. Again, back to the clean product labels. if you go to someplace like Sephora or Ulta, just look for things that have clean products and double check and make sure that one of those ingredients is not mineral oil. And I have Janet who said, I started using Arbonne. And Arbonne is a good product. I don't know all the ingredients to Arbonne. I just know of Arbonne, and I've had a lot of patients who really like it. So.
And I think that's considered a clean, right? That's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They even have a progesterone cream, as I recall.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Well, Leanne, I'll miss you. And we'll hook up maybe a time or two for fun.
Yes.
We'll see.
I'm going to miss you. And it's hard for me to let things go. This has been, a lot. I've been up at night over it, but I just, when you get to, I'm 55 years old and I've got elderly parents that need me every day and I don't live near them. And I know a lot of people are going through this. I've got children I'm trying to launch. I've got a grandbaby coming, and then my parents need me, and everybody needs me. And then I'm trying to work, and it just, there's some things I'm going to have to change, and so that I don't stay stressed out. But I have loved it, and I've been so proud to say to people, especially these young boys that have opened for me in comedy clubs all over the United States, they're like, who are you? And I go, I've got a podcast. So, and women everywhere I've been, I say sweaty and pissed, menopause and more, and they throw their purse in the air. So y'all have all been darling supporting us. I think we helped a lot of people.
And again, we have 80 plus episodes. So if you want more of Leanne, you just listen to one of our 80 something episodes, and it's always good to even re-listen to those episodes.
Yeah,
and I've told
people all over the United States, they say, "How am I going to find somebody like Karen Nickel?" And I hate it that y'all all can't go see her. Lord, she can't take new patients right now. But I think we've helped a lot of people go to your compound pharmacy, go to your find functional family integrative medicine, and start there. And a lot of people, women are out there, suffering, not knowing what is wrong, and they started perimenopause. So I do have so much pride in that. That I introduced you to the world. I feel like I did, and that you were able to help so many people, and you'll continue to help so many people. So I know we did a lot of good, and I feel good about that. We had a ball doing it.
We did indeed. And we also want to thank Horace Winsel for producing our show, writing our theme music, dealing with our IT struggles, dealing with two menopausal women.
Yeah, going, what do you mean close that tab? What does that mean? Bless his heart.
Where's the refresh button?
Yeah, I don't know what the refresh button is. Oh.
And thanks to Stephen Brown for our artwork. And it's been tons of fun. And I will be out there for you in the future with a few episodes. And feel free to continue to give us messages on Facebook and check out the website. That's where all the information is in the blog portion. And I will do my best to recover that one blog that I've managed to ditch somehow.
And check out our merchandise. We've got darling merchandise. And if you've got a friend or a sister or a mom or a daughter going through or feels like they're sweaty and pissed, even if not, we've got darling colors, darling logo. And so that'd be a good gift, something cute.
Absolutely. Well, Leanne, I love you.
I love you, Karen. Honey, I'll be in there for a pap smear before you know it.
We'll be seeing each other for sure.
Okay. Thank y'all so much for your support. I've had a ball. Thank y'all.